the top news headlines. Hello and a very good evening. You're watching Mami TV Primetime English News. I'm KABITA TONGBRAM. UK's renowned abstract artist Marcus Hodge has said that it is fascinating and impressive to witness the traditional game of Sago Kamje being well sustained till date. Marcus, who is in the State Foreign Research Project on Polo, told this to Mami TV. He was speaking exclusively to Mami TV's senior reporter George Bazaspatimayum at one of the main venues of the ongoing Sangai Festival at Ibudo Margin Complex during the first Ibudo Sago Lamjel and Arambai Langba as part of the festival. During the exclusively interview with our senior reporter George Bazaspatimayum and video journalist Gananta Lampuklakpam, he further said it was a wonderful experience to witness Sangai Festival and it has been beautifully organized. The state shares a totally different traditional aspect of India, he said. Marcus said he was in the state for a project on the lost history of polo and termed it fortunate to get the chance to witness the Manipur pony and traditional Sago Kangje being sustained till date.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, I think this is a wonderful festival which has been beautifully organized and shows a very different traditional aspect of India. Unlike anything I've seen, I feel like I'm in a different country because I'm normally traveling around Rajasthan and central India, but to come and see this particular festival and this very specific, very lovely, beautiful, smaller pony used, and we're doing a project for a large painting on the history of polo. So to come up to Manipur and see the original game of Sagal Kanjai, played at the festival has been wonderful. Fantastic experience, full of colour, full of action, and it's really been tremendous.
Speaking on Manipur being the origin of polo, Marcus Hodge said that it is a difficult and debated concept. There have been many claims and findings, however, without any doubt, the game of Sago Kangje is very much part of the history of the origin of polo, he said.
That's a difficult concept because, the Chinese think it came from Chinese and Tibet, and then there's, the other sort of direction that it came down through Persia, down with Akbar and the Mughal rulers. Where exactly it started, it is difficult to say. However, there were two British soldiers who saw this original game, Sagal Kanjai, being played up in Assam, I think in 1857, and they decided that looked like a fun game, and they started, I think it was the very first one was the Silchar Club, but really the main and oldest club was the Calcutta Club in Kolkata, that I think they started in 1864. Yes, I think so. And that sadly is closed, I think pretty much closed after COVID. At least they're not really playing much polo there. But so it's a debate. People are still discussing that one. But without a shadow of a doubt, the game of Sagal Kanje is a very important part of that history. To come and see it, looking like it would have been played, I guess, hundreds of years ago. Nothing probably as much has changed, is it? In the clothes that they wear and the ponies they're riding, and the rules, those slightly different rules from modern day polo, like catching the ball and riding off with it in your hand. I think I actually think it's more fun to watch this game than it is the more rarefied game of modern polo. But it's been fascinating.
Responding to query on conservation of indigenous pony, he expressed the need to take various steps, particularly preservation of the landscape and the natural habitat where the ponies graze and feed is needed. He also emphasized the need to conserve the indigenous breed of pony. Marcus mentioned that the initiatives taken up by Maharaja of Jodhpur to save the Marwari horse would also help in saving the pony. Losing the indigenous pony will be a great loss for the whole world, he said.
I think there's two. I mean, obviously, there's two different aspects. I mean, preserving the landscape and the natural area where the pony can, wander and feed and graze and breed is essentially important. So I think you have two aspects. So that's rather nice because you've got to do conservation of the land and the area, and not too much development. But in terms of conserving the horse, well, I think, generations ago they had the same problem with the Marwari horse in northwestern part of India, and that was, I think, the Maharaja of Jodhpur in the early 1900s. He started a stud book for that, and then they took the breeding very seriously. So I suppose a combination of these aspects, but it's a beautiful indigenous pony, and to lose that would be, I think, would be great sadness. So keep going with the conservation; it's worth it.
When asked about his opinion of Manipur as a tourist destination, Marcus said the culture and landscape of Manipur is very unique and very different from other parts of India. Experience in Manipur is like heaven, and any tourist who gets the opportunity to visit Manipur will be lucky, he said.
Looking around me at this landscape with the hills and the mountains and as well as the city, there's a lot that they could develop and continue to sort of encourage tourists to come here and get off the normal kind of beaten track that is India tourism. The triangle of Agra, Delhi and Jaipur, and going to those really sort of well-trodden destinations, to encourage the tourists to sort of get off that beaten track, come and discover different parts of India. I guess publicizing what you have that makes you really truly different is the first step in that encouragement. But I would definitely encourage that. I'm struck by the fact that I've been here for 5 days and I haven't seen another European face the entire time, no, not even in the hotels or in the centre of Imphal. So I'm sure there's one way to go with tourism, and that's up. It's a beautiful place, well worth a visit, especially after the chaos. If you fly up from Kolkata after a couple of days in Kolkata with the traffic and the chaos and the noise and everything, it's like coming to heaven for a few days. Beautiful.
Renowned UK abstract artist Marcus is in Manipur for a painting project on history of polo, funded by Palace House Museums, the British Sporting Art Trust. The commission is to paint a very large painting of about 3 meters representing the history of polo. The space will include written work and archival information and photographs outlining the development. Marcus will paint 2 canvases of Manipur pony and Sagol Kangjai. The painting will be hung at the Palace House Museum outside Newmarket. It is also said that the Palace House Museum used to be the hunting palace of King Charles II. Law and Legislative Affairs Minister T.H. Basant Kumar has informed that as part of a polling conducted in America, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has once again topped the list of popular global leaders. The minister said this at the observance of Constitution Day 2022, organized by Law and Legislative Affairs Department, Government of Manipur at Jawaharlal Nehru Dance Academy Hall today. Speaking further, Minister Basant Kumar said the identity of the country is built based on the Indian Constitution. Earlier, the day used to be observed as National Law Day. However, the day has been observed as Constitution Day after a Gazette notification issued by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on October 19, 2015, following a declaration made by Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi on October 11, 2015. Minister Basant Kumar further said that the day was observed to promote the values of Indian Constitution. He said that people must also work towards fulfilling the vision of Father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and his contributions should never be forgotten. Expressing the need to understand one's duty as citizen of one of the leading nations of the world, he said that the global image of India will be strengthened when its citizens carry out their duties. He also said that India is among the leading nations because of the policies and programs of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
We Constitution asida yauriba detail when you're all the points and important aspects constitution say brief yam phazana marik chumna preamble sida loina mak yawnina aikoina constitution day sida asai pung taramathoi chak chana ta matabda akoina pledge lomina rise. So that really in fact covers the entire gamut of the constitution in brief, in very brief. Aikoina fundamental duty is a munna khangaga phajana pathoga aduga akoi ma'am pledge akoi duty se akoi tawum thukpa se tawgani ngakani haibdo adugi pledge ama su mathangdadi lomina si haibdo suggestions ai ma'am kamjage.
Learned Advocate General Lenin Hizam, Commissioner Law Nungsitombi Athokpam, Prosecution Director Eni Lechandra, Government Advocate High Court R.K. Umakanta, All Manipur Bar Association President Advocate P. Tomcha, and All Manipur Lady Advocates Association President Advocate C.H. Kiran Bala were the president members at the observance. Manipur Rural Engineering Department has clarified that the allegation of swindling of fund for road construction work of Charoi Chagotlong, 3 to None and Tupul Chagongmang to Nungnang under PMGSY leveled against the department is totally baseless. A team of officials of the department paid an inspection visit at the construction site. Speaking to media persons on the sidelines, Additional Chief Engineer K.S. Ratan said one special contractor named C.S. Sushil is in charge of the road construction work of 13.5 kilometers stretch of road from Charoi Chagotlong 3 to Nane. The accusation that the said work has been completed and the fund has been withdrawn is totally baseless. The department had not made announcement about the completion of the work, neither the fund for the project had been released, K.H. Ratan clarified. The WBM of the road is underway after completion of ZSB. As the work is in progress, the fund for only the completed works has been released. Out of rupees 6 crore 41 lakh sanction amount of the work, there is still rupees 3 crore 83 lakh balance amount. The duration for the work is 18 months, however it has been delayed owing to COVID-19 pandemic, problem of monsoon, land acquisition and cases at the court, the Additional Chief Engineer informed. The works under Phase 1 and Phase 2 under PMGSY could not be completed on time because of the pandemic, he said. Speaking further, K.H. Ratan said special contractor T.H. Nodia Chan is in charge of the construction work of 17.05 kilometer stretch of road from None to Nungnang. The department has not announced completion of the work nor has released fund for the said work too. The work is taken under 2 sanction stages from the PMGSY. The works include earthwork, construction of protection wall and culvert. The work is still under progress and it even has rupees 79 lakh fund for the repairing work in the work order, he said, and also informed that 75% of the said work has been completed.
Thabakshi asi yaugiba cover the yaugiba thabaksing do amata loire haidana ekoi gi site gi lokthokpu leite department gi site gi thabaksing asi ongoing work ni at different stage aduga ekoi su payment se GSB gi thak phau da pibida ngairi tobudabu signboard ta misunderstanding oiba public ta aduna maram oiraga honorable singda complaint tobudagi honorable singsu yengsanba lakpibani haibase ai dum lojai Manipur da khoina singdana 18 months tampaktana 12 months da loiba ngamdabasi akoi working duration si samna harabada hanadi 6 months and palabni adu hojiti change of season ji lakpadagi 3 months tagi hana working season phangde aduna contractor singsu yamna khudung chadaba thengnei.
On the other hand, convener of All Manipur Contractor Association Forum, T.H. Somarendra, termed the allegation of MPCC President K. Megachandra through media that fund for construction of Tupul to Charoi Chagotlong 3 and None to Nungnang has been misappropriated by the contractors without the completion of the work as baseless. The works in the mention are currently in progress and there are many reasons behind the delay in the work, he maintained.
Contractor singsi thabak sudana paisa lokthok poina su mayam du uhun basi nungai jadadana akoi su ngasi si None gi khongchat asi package ani do akoi check tok jaba akoi lakchabani tawdabu thabak subada tapthari sigi maram su ai haijage mafamna yadadana singi area singda chauna lena stai thokibdigi paisa si khara hena pisan bagum mateng bangbadi yawi aduga condition sini yadadna aduga khwaidagi luribadi thabak suba ngamdabagi maramse akhoi Manipur government se lairabani na akhoi madom da haiba tai tawadabu government na tawribase department gi loina state sigi development gi demukta tawbani haibasu akhoi khangjai maramduna akhoi su contractor sing su khangdana sum lakpani.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said fulfilling fundamental duties should be the first priority of citizens to take the nation to greater heights as it marches ahead towards the centenary of its independence. Addressing Constitution Day celebrations at the Supreme Court, PM Modi said the entire world is looking at India, which is witnessing rapid development and economic growth. The Prime Minister said the country is set to assume the G20 presidency next week, and this is a big opportunity to present its contribution to the world. PM Modi asserted that Amrit Kal is the era of duties for the people, adding that Azadi Ka Amrit Kal is a time to take a pledge to work to take the nation forward at the greater pace and with the intent to make it the world leader. At the event, which was also attended by Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, PM Modi also praised the judiciary for taking steps towards ensuring timely justice. PM Modi also remembered those who lost lives in 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. PM Modi further launched various new initiatives under the e-court project, which provides services to litigants, lawyers and the judiciary through information and communication technology enabled courts. Since 2015, November 26 is observed as Constitution Day to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India by the Constituent Assembly in 1949. Earlier, the day was observed as Law Day. The government has convened an all-party meeting in Delhi on December 5 to inform leaders about India's preparations for the G20 meetings that New Delhi plans to host over the next 1 year, a senior leader of a party said. Presidents of nearly 40 parties have been invited for the meeting by Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be present, the leader said, requesting anonymity. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is also likely to attend the meeting at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. India will officially assume the G20 presidency from December 1. The next G20 Leaders Summit at the level of heads of state for all government is scheduled to be held on September 9 and 10 in New Delhi. Several G20 meetings will be held in various parts of the country. West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool Congress President Mamata Banerjee had said on Thursday that she will travel to the national capital on December 5 to take part in the meeting called by the government on preparations for the G20 summit. Banerjee, however, said she would be participating in the meeting in the capacity of Trinamool Congress chairperson and Northeastern West Bengal Chief Minister. Indonesia had earlier this month handed over the G20 presidency to India for the coming year at the Bali summit, with Prime Minister Modi terming it a matter of pride for every Indian citizen. Farmer unions took out marches to Raj Bhavans across the country today to mark 2 years since they launched their agitation against 3 farm laws of the centre that have since been scrapped. The marches will also register the farmers' protest against the non-fulfillment of various promises by the government, farmer leaders said. Farmer leaders claimed that the government had given to them in writing that it would hold a discussion and bring a law for minimum support price (MSP) of crops, but nothing has been done so far. Thousands of farmers, particularly from Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, protested at the borders of the national capital for over a year, demanding the repeal of the 3 farm laws. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced repealing the 3 laws in November. The Bharatiya Janata Party today released its manifesto for next month's Gujarat Assembly elections, in which it promised to implement the Uniform Civil Code (UCC) in the state if the party retained power. In manifesto, which was released by BJP President JP Nadda, the party also promised free education to girls from KG to PG, kindergarten to post-graduation. It also assured that the amount of medical insurance coverage under the Ayushman Bharat scheme would be doubled from Rs 5 lakh to Rs 10 lakh. Meghalaya government on Friday extended the internet suspension for another 48 hours in the 7 districts of Meghalaya, according to state police. Social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. have the potential to cause a serious breakdown of the law and order. Releasing a public order on Friday in the wake of the untoward incident that happened on the bordering areas of the Assam-Meghalaya border that killed 6 persons, the Meghalaya government decided to continue the internet shutdown in the 7 districts of the state. The internet suspension in the said districts began from 10:30 a.m. today. As reported earlier, tension gripped Meghalaya's capital Shillong after miscreants on Thursday evening torched a traffic booth and attacked 3 police vehicles, including a city bus. The incident took place during a candlelight vigil organized by some groups to protest against the violence on the Assam-Meghalaya border on November 2022. China reported a high number of COVID-19 cases, setting a record for daily infections for the 3rd day in a row. Reports said 35,909 cases were reported, including 3,405 locally transmitted cases and 31,504 local asymptomatic cases. Friday saw no new deaths from COVID-19, with a total death count at 5,232. A day earlier, China recorded 32,695 new local cases, which included 3,041 symptomatic cases and 29,654 asymptomatic cases. Lui Jiaofeng, Deputy Director of the Beijing Center for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), was quoted as saying by GT that China is at the most critical and toughest moment of fighting coronavirus. Taliban restrictions on the freedoms of women and girls could amount to a crime against humanity, the UN Special Experts on Human Rights in Afghanistan said. Richard Bennett and other UN rights experts said the Taliban's targeting of women and girls deepen flagrant violations of the human rights and freedoms that are already the most draconian globally and may amount to gender persecution, a crime against humanity. Most women who work for the government have lost their jobs or are being paid a pittance to stay at home since the Taliban returned to power in August 2021. Afghan women have also been barred from traveling without a male relative and must cover up with a burqa or a hijab when outside the home. This month, the Taliban barred women from entering parks, fun fairs, gyms, and public baths. England fans will be barred from entering stadiums in Qatar hosting the FIFA World Cup if they don Crusader costumes, said FIFA. A few England fans were seen wearing Crusader costumes such as chainmail armor, plastic helmets and toy weapons during Monday's match against Iran in Qatar's capital, Doha, which prompted a protest on social media demanding a ban on such costumes. Notably, Crusader costumes are banned in Muslim countries owing to historical reasons. In Muslim countries, it summons up a painful history of violent invasion by Christians seeking to capture Jerusalem and nearby areas under Islamic rule in the 11th to 13th centuries. England fans have worn similar outfits previously while attending other sporting events. But when several people turned up in Crusader costumes at England's FIFA World Cup match against Iran, they were turned away by officials. Now, before we wind up, let's have a quick look at the top stories once again. Impressive to That's all for today's Primetime English News. Thanks for watching.